I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask for a moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you. Welcome everybody and everybody that's watching. I'll start with roll call, and I'll be starting today. So roll call. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Here.
Aye.
One's present. All three, all the above. Okay, public comments. I think Joe Herron. Good morning, Joe.
Morning, Joe.
Is that gentleman's name again?
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joe Herring Surveying, 315 North 5th Street. Thank you for allowing me to talk today. I did send an email out briefly yesterday that we had the meeting last week. You guys did talk about the sanitary sewer codes and had some questions on replacements and size and everything. Went out and got some answers and sent some professional assigned plans. And I think the key components of all that was, anything from 1 to 2.49 acres has to be engineered, signed off by a professional, designed, has to show replacement, which was interesting to show that replacement could be allowed between the lateral lines itself instead of a separate designated area. Which brought to today's zoning case, the 1 acre, which basically started that whole process of looking at the sanitary sewer codes. Today is the rezone of the child's property to be heard from 2.5 acres to 1 acre. It meets our comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan shows that it's mixed residential. It's a continuation of a 1 acre zone property where we have 40 plus houses in there already. This will add, if the rezone goes through, the plat will add, approximately 12 to 14 lots. It will give a secondary access to those 40 homes, which is, to my is more of a safety issue, giving them a second access point out of there. The main things that I just want to touch on, I know this has been talked about quite a bit, the 1 acre and allowing septics on them, and the concerns is those are going to be designed by an engineer. They're going to take the responsibility of that. It's not going to be on the county. There are plenty checks and balances. They're going to look at the soil type. They're going to look at the house plan, the size of the house. They're going to look at how much land is available outside of their development. Anything under 2.5 acres has a limit on how much can be put on the property. I can't remember. I think it's 25% coverage outside of the house. And it'll be based on the number of bedrooms. So this is going to be well, thought out during this process. They're just not going to be standard systems. And again, it matches our comp plan. We have policy in place for it. Hopefully for a positive result on the rezone, matching today's policies. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. I believe that's the only comment we had for this. I'll move on to administrative business. One of the things in our packet is the local ad valorem tax reduction letter that we were asked for. Mark?
Commissioners, you'd asked us to draft a letter for our representatives and basically asking for the reinstatement of the LAVTR and the other demand transfers. I think you have a letter that was prepared by Mr. Van Paris that does a good job of pointing out that it's a statutory requirement. We also had a couple of handouts that we'll probably send once the board authorizes this letter, one of them being right out of the state's budget book that talks about what demand transfers are. These are not funds that were somehow the state was sharing with us. They were our funds that the state collected and at one point was distributing and then decided they were going to go ahead and keep them. It started clear back in the 70s, but The other item that we will put in that packet is the letter that, or the, I guess the informational that the League of Kansas Municipalities puts together that shows annually since 2001, I believe, how much they have deferred that back to themselves and kept it instead of sending it to the local municipalities. So if the board approves of this letter today, we will make sure and get that sent out to all the representatives listed at the top of that.
We have any comments on this?
I think it's a really good letter.
I do too. Do we need a motion on this?
I think it would be good to have a motion to give direction to send it.
I'll make a motion. Motion to approve for the LAVTR letter to be sent to our local elected officials.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Well done. Aye.
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 All righty. Next item is, David, I think you had something for the...
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. Pursuant to discussions I've had with McEnany Construction, I believe a resolution has been reached with respect to the retainage issue for dust abatement programs 2, 4, 5, and 7. This was an issue regarding dispute over the quality of the road and the amount of retainage being held by the county. Those issues, I believe, have been satisfactorily resolved for both parties. Pursuant to the direction I received, I have prepared a settlement agreement, which I would ask that the board authorize the chairman to sign. This will resolve all issues and allow both parties to move on.
Any comments? All right. Need a motion?
Motion. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Doug.
All right. Mr. Chairman, I move that we
To authorize the chairman to execute a settlement agreement for the terms discussed by the board, previously discussed by the board between Leavenworth County and McEnany Construction.
Okay. I move that we authorize the chairman to sign a settlement agreement for McEnany Construction.
Second. Motion and second. Any discussion? I'll start by calling roll. Aye.
Aye.
No.
Aye. Aye.
4-1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark, you have anything else for us?
I think that would do it.
Okay. Commissioners, before we move on, do y'all have anything?
I do have one thing.
Yeah, Mike.
Listening to all the discussion on the media, I just wanted to let everybody know I did take a district survey, 162 responses on various social media sites down in the southern part of the county. Leavenworth County Commissioners have supported health recommendations that include hand washing, social distancing, and wearing masks at appropriate times. The Commission has not supported mandates by local government that compel individuals under penalty of law to wear a mask. What is your position? 64.2% said I support the approach of making recommendations and not mandates on the mask issue. 32.1% said I support mask mandates that require the use of masks with legal penalties. So it would appear that the public supports the approach of making recommendations and not mandates.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else before we move on? Okay. Consent agenda. Is there anything in the agenda we need to pull?
Yes, I need to have the check registry pulled from the consent agenda, please.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to pull the Planning Commission appointment, vote on it separately.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the consent agenda minus the Planning Commission and the check registry.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Aye.
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 Okay. We can go back.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the consent agenda items, check registry. Do we have to do those separate?
Yeah.
Check registry.
Second. Motion and second. Any discussion on that? I'll start it. Aye.
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 Abstain.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the consent agenda line item Planning Commission appointment.
Any discussion?
After second, once we get a second.
Second.
Second. Okay. Motion and second. Any discussion on this?
Second, do you want to have discussion on the?
I just want to be able to vote.
I'm assuming everybody did their homework.
No discussion? I'll start the roll call, and let me tell you, this is no.
No.
Aye.
Aye.
No.
It fails 3-2. And let me tell you too, just we usually don't have discussion on these kind of things, but I've just had just have a tough time with this one, and we'd hope that Commissioner Stephen did a good job bringing someone forward, and I'm hoping he'll bring someone else forward to us again. With that being turned down, we'll do the formal board action. Consider a motion to authorize Public Works to dispose of equipment on public wave as presented. Bill?
Commissioners, we have a few items here for your acceptance today to be placed on the disposal list. These items include a Jersey rock spreader and 2 wheel loaders that their replacements have been delivered, and a toolbox out of another truck. There are a few other miscellaneous, just simple parts items that would be associated with the wheel loaders that we will also place on Purple Wave from the inventory that we would no longer need as the new items are going to be leased that are just parts. So, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
The Jersey rock spreader is only in 1966.
I know.
Come on.
I know. I think we might have got our
older
depreciation
than Bill, I guess.
schedule. The depreciation schedule on that piece of equipment may have.
Yeah, I don't think we had depreciation in 66.
I didn't know.
Or amortization or anything. And we all know about the Doosan loader. So we'll just, you ready for a motion?
Yes.
I move that we authorize Public Works to dispose of the surplus equipment through Purple Wave auctions.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Aye?
Aye.
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 Passes.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you, Bill. Consider a motion to approve Resolution 2021-28, a request to rezone from RR 2.5 to RR 1 located at 16985 Evans Road. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. We have a request to consider a Resolution 2021-28, which is a rezoning request from RR 2.5 to R1. It is there on Evans Road. This was originally brought in 2020 before the board. However, it did not meet the sanitary code. The Board of County Commissioners at that time directed staff to amend the sanitary code, which we've done. The sanitary code has been approved. This was originally recommended for denial both by staff and by the Planning Commission because it did not meet the sanitary code. It also at the time did not meet the comprehensive plan. We had not adopted the comprehensive plan. This is a lower intensity zoning district than what is called for in the current adopted comprehensive plan. I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions?
Okay, this all started when the subdivision that this joins had 1 acre lots, so the homes weren't really in compliant. So this would put them homes in compliance. You said it was less than the comprehensive plan?
The comprehensive plan actually calls for 3 units per acre. These are 1 unit
Yes,
per acre.
right. So,
But I think the intent probably was because there would be most likely sewer lines that would have ultimately been run.
It would
into
have to be, yeah.
Yeah.
It would have to be.
I'm just saying the intent of the
comp plan.
land use of the comp plan.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, there was not a valid protest on this?
No, there was not. It failed because less than 20% of the surrounding property owners appropriately filed the petition.
Okay. And so this is okay to be at this board being it was at the Planning Commission and it was denied because of the zoning, correct?
Yes, So,
And well, in our current or past sanitary code.
right. So, because it was a recommendation of denial, that does require a 4-1 vote or to turn it back to the Planning Commission.
Okay. So it requires a supermajority to pass.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other comments? I think we've done what we asked.
Is the legal description including the adjacent lots, like what Doug said? It's not, right?
No, it does not include the adjacent lots.
Ooh.
So that's
we
what
need to do that.
that's what I was thinking.
That's why I was hoping we was fixing that.
While we're at
okay,
it.
I'm glad you caught that.
While we're at it, yeah. Why
I
don't
did
we?
not catch that.
Because I think that's one of the things we want to do is correct.
You can't do that today. That would be
No.
rezoning.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So I think maybe we should table it if we want to include those adjacent non-compliant lots. And
How
I
long does that
don't see a
take?
problem with including those, do you?
Send it back to,
They weren't zoned. No, I don't know how the plat was approved.
or send it back.
We just
Yeah.
want to make sure everybody's in compliance.
Yeah, I mean, while we're at it, that would just make a lot more sense to fix the non-compliant lots that are adjacent to this. I mean, they're
Okay,
butting up to it.
I never even thought about that not being in there.
Do we have to kick it back to planning board? Can we just table it and?
It would have to go back. It's going to require a public hearing if it's a rezoning. So you have to notice the people in that area, and
I would, or we could do it as a separate.
it would have to be a
Split.
separate item.
We could do a separate zoning proposal.
I doubt if there's going to be much
Resistance.
resistance when you're already living on a 1 acre
Right.
lot and the county wants you to be in compliance with the current.
How about we do it that way?
Separated.
Separate them, but
We
get
gotta
that
get
ball
that
rolling.
done. David.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, in response to Commissioner Culderson's question, I will not give you a yes or no answer.
I didn't expect that.
I believe the process to cause this rezoning would actually be initiated by a petition by the property owner.
Yeah.
I would suggest, given the current scheduling of the Planning Commission and the caseload that it has, initiate and start that would probably be 90 days. I believe you could do that as a separate item, and that might
Okay.
keep it cleaner rather than keeping them tied together.
Okay. That's
So 90 days probably is 180 days. I don't know.
COVID.
It's not going to be fast. Let's just put it that way. It won't be fast. But we want it to be clean and right. And
Because you're right. That's half the reason
we
that
did, well, that's the only reason I
agreed
was
with this.
willing to do it.
was to clean up what's already there.
Yeah, I just, even, but with what we're, I don't support adding additional septic systems on 1 acre lots. I just want to make that clear. I'm just,
Okay.
Okay.
I
Okay.
didn't for the change of the code, so it's like, no.
Okay.
Well, that would probably be better than for you if we did separate them.
Right. That's
So-
what I'm saying. I would,
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's do that.
Definitely do it.
Do you need a direction from us for planning to initiate the other property zoning?
That'd be a
change?
separate motion, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Be a separate action. I would
Okay.
suggest that you
Do the
address
first.
the issue of the resolution before
Yeah.
you proceed.
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution 2021-28, request to rezone from 2.5 to 1 acre located at 16985 Evans Road.
Motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion?
And the motion is because the adjacent property is 1 acre lots.
Wait a minute. I'm okay. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. You just clean that up. Okay, I'll start it. Aye.
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 No.
All righty.
And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we direct planning staff to initiate what they need to do to change the zoning for the existing, is that Lee Childs
Least child subdivision.
subdivision? To be rezoned from 2.5 to 1 acre.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Any more discussion? Aye.
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 Thank you, Commissioners.
Yeah.
Huh? Would you say no? Okay. Thanks, Becky. All right.
It's already there, they can't, I mean,
I know it.
Right, we got to fix that.
yeah.
All right. Consider a motion to approve funding request from local historical societies and museums. Mark?
Commissioners, annually, you allocate $50,000 to funding for historical societies or historically significant locations in the county. Then the clerk solicits from the existing, historical societies are most of these, or museums, for their requests. They provide those requests, and the board considers it. This is for funding this year. You have all their requests, and then I also provided a spreadsheet that shows previous funding levels. The last 2 years, I believe, what has been done is the number of applications divided the 50,000 by that. Anybody who's requesting less than that number, they get fully funded, and then the remaining funds are split equally amongst. That's what's been done the last 2 years. Obviously, this is a board decision, so you can handle that however you like.
The requests have gone up significantly.
Well, I don't know if the requests have gone up. Some of them have.
CARES Act fund.
But each year our requests exceed what's budgeted. What you see as received is what we actually allocated once we approved it, but that doesn't mean that that's what was requested. Most of them would have requested more.
I'm just looking at this column where it says requested.
I think that was from what they requested during the CARES.
That's also the CARES Act, too.
Includes that.
And some of them did receive CARES Act funding.
Yes. We only got 50,000, so don't need a calculator for that one.
There's only 50,000 in the budgeted, so.
That's why I always liked them, that we didn't, with the 2020 column received was equals.
Baser's going to have to step their game up, aren't they?
Lansing forgot.
Lansing didn't come in.
I forgot. I talked to the historical society. They'll be there next year.
Well, we can't increase it.
It's
We're the ones getting hammered on the floor of the Capitol about raising taxes. So,
Commissioners, what's the pleasure?
I'd say we divide it equally. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I tend. I wish there was more to go out, and maybe in the future there will be. But I think right now it's just so tight.
That's probably about the amount we're going to spend on postage next year.
That's exactly what it's supposed to be. You're right.
So,
Okay, Mike, do you have anything else you want? Or Jeff? You okay with? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we divide the 50,000 equally amongst the museums and historical societies.
I'll second it. Any more discussion?
That are on the list, or all of them?
They're on the list.
On the
yeah.
list.
Okay.
Yeah.
That made requests.
Made
yes.
the request.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I should have said that.
That's okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Anybody else? I'll start roll call. Aye.
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 All right. Passes. Okay. Presentations and discussions. I don't think we have any additional public comment. Commissioners, do y'all have anything?
I attended Fairmount Township meeting last week, and also the Basers Transportation open house for parks, trails, and transportation projects.
How'd that go?
It was okay. I thought there'd be a few more people there, but I didn't get to stay the whole entire time because it was the same night as the township board meeting, so I knocked out 2 of them right there close. But yes, it was. People were the people that were there were participating and marking up the maps. So no, it was
Good.
It was good. And
Good.
like I said, I couldn't stay for the whole thing. And of course, the fair's going on this week. So
Everybody stay cool when you're down there. Anything else, Doug?
no, sir, that's it. I think.
Mike? Jeff?
Met with Kickapoo and Alexandria Townships boards and fire districts and the pager
Yeah.
item is, I know we had to fix it right away. It's something we had to do yesterday. Well, now that we're having conversation about how that's going to play out, I'm meeting with Andy next week. Some of the townships are budgeting for the pagers in the future, or we even talked about possibly reimbursing the fund that we're using to pay for it now. So there's several things hanging out there that I'm getting the conversation rolling.
Good.
So I'll get back with
But
you
it's
once I meet
for
with them.
not 2022 budget, it'd be starting in 23 budget?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
some of them have already turned
Yeah,
in
we
their
talked about
budgets.
that.
For
Okay, and
22.
then you're talking about an amortization schedule or
Yeah, 5-year.
5-year
Yeah,
replacement?
so
Okay.
I was asking them to put 1/5 of the cost in their budget, starting 23. Some of the townships are concerned about who will control the pagers after that. I mean, there's several things now that are coming up that we've had time to talk about it. So there's some issues that we got to get worked
I heard
out.
the same thing.
Okay.
I mean, that's, when you do something like that and you have to do something quick, it
Yeah.
will be, and it'll get
Exactly.
worked out.
Exactly. I mean, it's not
I'm not
something we
worried
can talk
about it.
about.
But I think the good thing though is, Jeff, is we won't get caught like this. We shouldn't get caught like this again.
Exactly.
And
my point.
everybody's been made aware of it, so that's
Yep.
excellent.
Yep. And then also I'm meeting with Senator Pittman and Rosanna Neely and Mayor of Lansing to go over some things like fire districts, pager things, the 152 bridge, and some other items. So in the next week.
Mike, you're the only one that hasn't had done the Lansing. Do you ever want to meet with those folks? I think it's good just to meet with them with the baser and stuff like that, just to get out and see. They're not be in your district, just to be out in that area. I'd be more than glad to set it up if you want to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's do it before the ribbon cutting on the Harbor Freight.
Yeah, that finally, dry weather, finally
I
going
know,
well.
they're doing
Getting those
good.
things up.
I thought they were building a swimming pool.
Well, it looked like that was
Last
for a while. I know it. Anything else, Jeff?
That's it.
Vicki?
I did workforce development, CEO and board meeting yesterday, and they announced that they have received 3 new grants. Were announced the 1st of July, which are really good, and one of them will be a going home grant that will mostly be, well, the staff person will be hired will be based in the Leavenworth office, and that's for working with inmates being released
Oh, yeah, yeah.
from Lansing to
Yeah.
work toward employment and
Yeah.
stabilization. So I think that's a really positive thing. And then another one that was awarded that will go through the Kansas City Community College, which benefits the Leavenworth side, is a grant that is for working with young people in the construction industry, in the the
That's a
different
good thing.
trades.
That's a good thing.
And so I think that's going to be a really positive thing.
Yes. Yeah.
So
We've needed that. That's
yeah.
great.
Last week met briefly with the mayor and staff in Baser, and just an update of things are going on there.
Going on, isn't it?
It's going on.
Baser's got it going on.
A lot of houses going up. Anything else, Vicki?
No, that's it.
Okay, Mark, you have anything for the group? If I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second? Aye.
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 And we are adjourned.